Okay, Christi, now that I've done some business, how are you today?
I am wonderful.
You are wonderful.
Thank you.
You've been helping me this morning because, I woke up kind of disheveled. For some reason, I've just been a little bit behind, you know what I mean? And I caught back up. I got to spend a little time with Harold this morning. He gets mad, if I don't come by and say hi and give him a hug in the morning. I was pretty sure he's going to be mad at me. So I rushed in here to come chit-chat with him. So I feel a little off today, and we were back in we can't really call it a green room. We might have a red room. Right. We got a red room, and you were saying, you're going to be okay. Everything's going to be good. It's going to be a good day.
Yeah, you're right on time.
Right on time.
That's right.
So what does Christi Ratcliff Coaching do?
I help people get unstuck and transform their lives. That's what I do.
And I ask you to be my co-host for the entire month because you inspired me when you started talking about personal budgeting and personal planning. I have learned over the years that when it comes to small business, it's about the owner. And if their personal finances aren't in control and you don't have a budget, it's almost impossible to be able to do that same thing for the business. So that's how we kind of connected.
Right.
Yeah, you were kind of surprised when I said, "Hey, you want to do this, won't you?"
I was a little bit.
Yeah,
but I love it. It's fun. It's enjoyable.
You're
Thank
doing fantastic.
Thank
okay,
you.
Now you do know it is a job responsibility of the co-host to go to the Google, find something, and bring it up. So you got something for today?
I do. I have a article from success.com. The listeners can find it. It's Jeff Bezos says these are the 5 secrets to success. And if you've lived under a rock and you don't know who this is, he is the founder of Amazon.
And you found Jeff Bezos because you dare me to question any of these 5, don't you?
I'm kind of hoping that you do, but, I don't know.
It's going to be sad. And let me just tell everybody right now, if I disagree with him, I'd probably go with his notes over mine.
So there's 5 points here. There's 5 secrets to success. And the first secret is surround yourself with the best possible team. I don't know anybody who would disagree with that. Amazon has a notoriously lengthy hiring process. And it's funny, in this article, they talk about potential employees can expect to submit SAT scores and answer questions such as how many gas stations are there in the U.S., but they're not really looking for the right answer. They're looking for people who have critical thinking skills, because it's not enough just to put a warm body in a seat. You want the right person in the right seat on the right bus. So every time we hire someone, he or she should raise the bar for the next hire so that the overall talent pool is always improving. You agree?
Yes, but here's the problem. It's hard to do. How do you do that? Is the answer? Is the challenge that I have here? And the best advice I can give a small business person is this: pay more than you think you should. Pay more than you're comfortable with. Normally, that is the answer to getting the right person for that space. That's not the place to be cheap. Well, if you can do that, I think you'll like the hire that you make, and it will help you do a better job of hiring because you're going to know you're looking for the best. You're not looking for the cheapest or the best value. You're looking for the best.
Well, and I agree with you 100% on that, and I'll go a little deeper. I know Dave Ramsey, the Lampo Group, they have a 12-step process for their hiring. So what I would tell any business owner is don't be in a crisis moment, this urgency, we just got to get a warm body. It takes vetting to get the right people in. You owe it to yourself, you owe it to the person you're putting in the seat, and you owe it to your customers. Okay.
Yep.
Secret number 2, learn from your mistakes. Without failure, innovation could never be possible. But with innovation comes misunderstanding. Leaders look for new ideas from everywhere and are not limited by not invented here. And I think that's the key, is that people don't usually learn from their mistakes. They keep just going with it and saying, I've started it, I just got to roll with it. And that's not true. You can learn from your mistakes, but also at the same time realize, Solomon says there's nothing new under the sun. Everything basically has been invented. You're just tweaking somebody else's invention.
Yeah, I'll tell you what I would add to this section right here, and that is, in my opinion, You have to be honest with yourself. You have to be true with what the problem is. Most small business people have a hard time doing that.
Yes.
So if you will acknowledge that you were part of the what you thought was a solution, you're probably part of the problem, right?
Right.
And you can be part of the solution again, right?
Yes.
And so that, to me, that's the key. The reason why they keep making the same mistake over again, because they've really never taken the time to analyze what was the real problem. And I could possibly be making a mistake. I could be. I know it's hard to believe, but it's possible I could be the one making the mistake.
That's right. Number 3, which was one of my favorite ones, was stay frugal. Frugality is a near direct opposition to modern big business practices. So Bezos says, accomplish more with less. Constraints breed resourcefulness, self-sufficiency, and invention. There are no extra points for growing headcount, budget size, or fixed expenses.
Yeah, and here's the key. You can do all of that if you don't do that when you're hiring the right person, right? So if you've got people, I tell people this all the time, a great idea is not the key in business. A great idea that is implemented well is the key. So if you want things implemented well, if you want good, healthy conversation to come from your business, hire well, and then you can be frugal, then you can cut back on costs and expenses because you've got quality people implementing what you guys have decided to do.
Well,
that's the key here.
Yeah, and I think also for those who've ever thought about starting a business, you can do it on the cheap. You can be frugal and go out there and build into it, and I think that's key. Number 4 is stand firm. Bezos understands that in order to stay relevant and growing, you must be willing to adapt, but you also must know when to draw the line. Leaders have conviction and are tenacious, and they do not compromise for the sake of social cohesion. Once a decision is determined, they commit wholly. And I like that because some people in business will do anything. They don't stand firm on their purpose, their why they're in the business. Okay.
And what I would add is give yourself a time frame. Once you've got good people on board, you guys come up with a plan of action. Now give yourself a plan of how you're going to measure it and give yourself how much time you're going to give.
That's right.
You stick to it to whatever that time frame is for 3 months, 6 months, whatever the time period is. Let it follow all the way out because sometimes things don't develop the way you think they will, but they do develop. And so that's what I would add to that little piece.
Awesome. 5th secret, think big. Amazon was never intended to just be an online bookstore or even just an online retailer. Books just happen to be the easiest entry into the marketplace at the time. Think about your dreams versus the tools you're using to get there, and don't confuse the two, and don't settle for the easier option. And I love that because most people, when they get into business, they're just thinking literally one step ahead. They don't really have that in mindset, thinking bigger. Right?
Yep.
And most people only think big and then wonder why things don't come to fruition. Sometimes you got to have that in piece before you have that maximized business. And so that's the article I brought you, Joe. Are we in agreement?
We are. That's a great article. I will tell you this. That's probably one of the biggest problem I find with small business owners. They don't think big enough.
Right.
And you know the ones that think bigger and broader are the ones that have coaches like you. I mean, somehow, and it's even the case of me, and I've been known to exaggerate and think too big, right? My eyes are bigger than my stomach often, right? But there are many things that I have done probably in the last 7-8 years because I have coaches around me. I got the pleasure of having a lot of coaches on the show, that come in here. And it's funny because what a coach seems to do is push you a little bit further than you actually think you can go. It's amazing how when people look in our eyes, they see more of us than we do. That happens often.
Yes.
And a coach can help you get there. So so you definitely need to think bigger. I'm almost positive no matter how big your company is, no matter how much you're doing, no matter how surprised you are from where you started and where you are now, you can do something a little bit more. And that's really what this article is talking about.
Yes, it is.
You are spectacular.
Thank you. I try.
So if somebody wanted to read Christi Ratcliff Coaching, how could they do that?
They can reach me at the office number 704-657-6040 or on my website at ChristiRatcliff.com.
Great. Let's take a break. When we come back, we're going to introduce your first guest.
Sounds good.